Podcast doesn't exist. The 4th of July edition for the best podcast of the best country in the world. God bless the USA. But it ain't about the USA because the Canadians have ran rampant on the Americans and they've taken over 4th of July. It's a shame what's happened to this country because the best team in baseball right now is Canadian? Huh? But yeah, you got to give credit where credit's due. The Toronto Blue Jays, Drake's favorite team, which is Jack's favorite rapper and person, has overtaken the New York Spankies to be the beast of the East. The Blue Jays have won 8 games in a row, Mitchell.
I left for the weekend, didn't pay attention much to baseball. I saw the...
Well, that's great. The fucking researcher doesn't even pay attention to baseball.
The Blue Jays, I saw they swept the Yankees. I went, oh, cool, they're in first place. I looked today, 3 games ahead of the Yankees.
Bro, they've been ripping the freaking cover off the ball. And you know what's funny about this streak for the Blue Jays? It's really just not even the Blue Jays, it's George Springer. George Springer, this old fuck. How old is George Springer? He ain't that old, but he's kind of old. He's kind of old. 34, I want to say.
35.
35. A lot of people thought, George Springer, he's had a great career. Man, when he was on those young Astros teams, okay, yeah, maybe he was using the banger, but even post-banger, he was a great player. But, he goes to the Blue Jays, has a couple injuries. 35, I don't know if he can do it this year. Well, the past week, this guy has been on a freaking rampage. So this is 3 games against the Yankees, the final 3 games of the series. This guy went 8 for 12 with 4 home runs and 11 RBIs. 11 RBIs in 3 games. Fucking 4 home runs in 3 games. I don't know how many runs they scored in that series against the Yankees, but a lot of them were George Springer. Can you find that? Because if he had 11 RBIs and he scored 7 runs, that means he's accounted for... Okay, so 4 minus 4, so 3, 14 runs. How many runs did they score?
It's a 4-game series. They scored 36 runs,
and he was accounted for 14 of them. George Springer, Jesus Christ! And if you remember correctly, last episode he did it on Canadian Day, which isn't 4th of July, but how ironic, so close together, right?
Yeah,
4th of July and the 2nd of July, or
it's
whatever
like
it was.
Canada was like, we need our holiday. What's a good date before America's got to steal their thunder?
Yeah, they think they're better than us. That's hilarious, though. We don't even pay attention to that shit. I mean, how many Americans know when Canadian Independence Day is? You know, Jack?
I guess I find out about it on the day.
I know
a few Canadians.
I know some too, but the only reason I know it's Canadian Independence Day is because they wear red jerseys and they play at like 1 p.m. I only know because of baseball.
Is that what Canada Day? Is that what that is?
Yes, and we respect the hell out of Canada. But as I said, the Blue Jays are on fire. So in 1 week, their playoff odds go from 57% to 84%. All right, they're 8-1 as of July 4th, which was 2 days ago. So I think they're 10-1 in their last 11 games now. And during this stretch, they've averaged 7 runs a game. That's the craziest part about this. They haven't even pitched well at all. 4.94 ERA. They ranked 22nd in ERA during that stretch. But still, 8 games in a row. Now they're 3 games ahead of the Yankees. And who do they play this weekend? Just embarrassed them. Before we get to that, George Springer in 7 days had 13 RBIs. During that same stretch, the Minnesota Twins, which is an entire team, by the way, 26 players on a team, 12 RBIs. So he had more RBIs than an entire team. Again, George Springer, you might be the new queen of Canada. By the way, Canada, they're not even independent. They still have a queen, dude. Dead ass. It's all the money. Kind of cringe if you ask me.
King, technically.
Oh, yeah, the king. Like, I give a fuck what's going on in England. Fuck them.
I think it's ceremonial.
Blue Jays, best team in baseball. I said it. Coming this weekend up against the Rangers. You know what happened in that series, right, Mitchell? Tell us.
The Blue Jays?
Yeah.
We're still in the Blue Jays, right?
Yeah, who'd they play after the Yankees?
The Angels.
The Angels. Sorry. The Angels and Rangers. Very similar. Both have red. So that's where I get
I
mixed up.
mean, not a lot of teams have red
That's
in
true.
baseball. It's
That's
a very
true.
well-known fact.
Thank
So
you for bringing that up.
they win all 3 of these games by 1 run.
Respect.
4-3, 4-3. And then they dropped the ball and won 3-2 today.
Drop the ball. Dude, they had a walk-off bunt. Was that game 1 they had a walk-off
Yeah,
bunt?
you have that as game 1.
Game 1 walk-off bunt for my Blue Jays. And that's when you know you're doing it. I don't even know who got the walk-off bunt, but if you're getting a walk-off bunt,
Ernie Clement.
Ernie Clement.
What a name.
Respect.
It takes me back. If I saw the name Ernie Clement, I thought I would think it would be like a 1920s player.
Ernie
Clement.
Clement. And he's been he's their second most valuable player on the team, according to Fangraphs. Sorry, Fangraphs. I mean Baseball Reference. Him and the other guy, Barger.
Is it Barger or Barger?
I'm calling
I
him.
think it's Barger.
I'm calling him Barger, man. He's a Barger. He barges in. 25-year-old right fielder, Addison Barger. I'm telling you what, this guy has an aggressive fucking swing. You see this guy swing a bat, you say, holy shit. He swings the bat hard as fuck, and he hits it hard as fuck. 129 OPS plus for Addison Barger. You also got to show respect, like I said, to Ernie Clement, who's been their second most valuable player. And then Alejandro Kirk. No one talks about Alejandro Kirk. 114 OPS plus. Not to mention Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who people were down on a little bit. Not really, but like he gets that big extension. He's been nothing but an all-star game starter. Ain't he starting at first base?
I cannot remember.
Yes, he is starting at first base. And Anthony Santander, the free agent acquisition, has been terrible. I think he's hurt right now, isn't he?
I haven't heard anything from him for a
I think he's hurt, but just wait till they get that guy back. Holy moly. But yeah, I mean, right now you got to look at the Blue Jays as a real threat to the big bad Yankees.
When I started looking into them, I really expected there to be like a total transformation because they were like 21st in ERA and 18th by WRC plus on May 28th when they were 8 games back from the Yankees. So I was like, oh, their whole team must have transformed. It's just their offense.
Mm-hmm.
Offense has turned into the best offense in baseball, just behind, who was it? Can't even find it. But like only one team was better than them and was by 1 run.
So now they have an 87% chance to make the playoffs, and they have a 3-game lead. So their division odds to win the division are 41%, just barely up above the New York Yankees, who have a 37.1%. Now, granted, how much do you trust the percentages? I don't know, but all I know is the Yankees have not been playing that well. Yankees have been kind of mincemeat, brother. And they've had to play the Mets, who have been just as bad.
Yeah, it was kind of if you would looked a month in advance last month, you would be looking ahead. One of the best teams in baseball plays one of the best teams in baseball, and what you got was 2 struggling teams. Who's going to break out of the funk?
Yeah, so combined after game 2, the New York Yankees and the New York Mets had combined lost 16 of their last 22 games. So the Bronx is burning, and so is the Queens. Shout out to the Queens. They are burning. The Mets did finally win a game because they were on a terrible streak, but they beat Mizorowski. Did you see that?
Grand slam by Brandon Nimmo.
Nimmo, did he have his pitches? Is it a Chase Burns thing? I mean, Mizorowski against the Mets goes 3 2/3 innings, gives up 5 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 walks, and 2 home runs in 3 2/3 innings. His first 3 starts, this guy pitched 16 innings. In 16 innings, he gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, had 1 home run given up. And in 3.2 innings, just 1 start, he gives up more hits than he had in 3 starts, more runs than he had in 3 starts, and twice as many home runs as he had in his first 3 starts. So the Mets get to him, bro. The Mets are awake, actually. I mean, we were shitting on the Mets. It felt like they were on a massive losing streak forever, but the Mets are totally back. I mean, they've totally bounced back from that completely. Not completely, but they are 1.5 games back of the Phillies after today's loss. It was a half game yesterday, and I said, oh, shit. Juan Soto?
Not an all-star. Should be.
You already know, though? He's like the best player in the league right now. What is like? Let's go to the leaderboards. Where does Juan Soto rank according to Fangraphs?
Full season.
Full season, 25. He's 20. He's the 25th best player in baseball so far this year. And his OPS plus right now is higher than his career OPS plus. So he's having an above average Juan Soto season, who's been a generational player. Goes to show you how all those tabloids, Juan Slow-Mo, was a little bit of smoke and mirrors. He's still Juan Soto. And he was, did you see him in the outfield today?
No.
Hitting on a fan?
What?
Yeah, dude, he was going like this. He was calling someone thick or something. I think someone asked him ass or tits, and he said ass. But instead of just putting the hand up, he did the hourglass. Respect the ass man, Soto. So what happened in the series? What did they split it? What happened?
Mets won 2-1.
Mets won 2-1. And was there any fireworks? You know how that gets with the New York Mets? How did Judge do?
I did not hear a single thing. It was all Mets until the Yankees won today.
I saw Volpe hit Aaron Judge in the head with a ball. So
wait, how did Volpe
hit
Judge? How does this happen?
Everyone's wondering, how does Anthony Volpe, the man who was the king of New York at one point, fall from grace? I mean, this guy was supposed to take over for Derek Jeter. He was supposed to be the new captain. But he's been terrible at defense, as we covered last time. The Yankees fans are turning on Volpe, and then to make matters worse, in the Subway Series, he nails Aaron Judge with a ball randomly. He's like coming in. They're coming in from an inning, just tossing the ball around. He throws one like across the infield to Aaron Judge running in. Aaron Judge is not watching at all, and he just nails him right in the face. So, at least he's accurate, you know?
Yeah, quite a hell of a throw.
At least he's accurate. And I think Aaron Judge is okay. So that's good news.
So Judge
okay.
I did saw Judge short. He did hit a homer this series. Didn't do much in game 2, and then today he had another. So 2 homers, actually.
What does he lead the league in?
Jack?
Home run.
WAR, runs, hits, walks, batting average, on base percentage, slugging percentage, on base plus slugging, on base plus slugging plus weighted on base average, RBAT plus, total bases, and intentional walks. That's what he leads the league in so far.
Doesn't lead the league in homers, Jack. So close.
Yeah, the one thing.
But he leads the league in our hearts.
Actually, does he? I'm kind of a Shohei guy myself, who's been struggling, but we'll get to that at the plate, but not at the mound. So the Mets beat the Yankees, and the Mets are looking good, and the Phillies, on the other hand, the Mets are right down on their, breathing down their neck. The Phillies think they got a good breath, but the Phillies, it ain't going to be easy for the Phillies. You said that Bryce Harper's washed, Mitchell? Is that what you said in the notes?
I said that he has not done well since returning from the IL, but it's such a short sample. But he might be washed.
How has he done?
He has 3 hits and 17 at-bats, no extra base hits, and 3 walks. So it's such a short, small sample size, but with the Phillies offense, it's just been Schwarber for the last, 2 weeks. You get Harper back, you really think, oh, we're going to get this offense churning again. And Harper hasn't done anything yet.
Well, they beat the Reds, right? 2 out of 3, or did they?
2 out of 3.
They sweep the Reds.
No, they had that fan incident. Remember?
Oh yeah, because Bryson Stott made the last out. Yeah, like another example for the Phillies, just not as blue collar as they used to be. I mean, a fan in the front row, guy pays. How much are those tickets, Mitchell? You went on about how much the Phillies tickets cost.
Those tickets are like $150
to sit in the front row, right in front of the dugout.
Or $200. The tickets in Citizens Bank Park are ridiculously
So you
expensive.
think that tickets right on the first level in front of the dugout are $150 each?
I think so. I mean, I can look now, but when I wanted to
crack,
get 400, when I wanted to go on sit in the 400s level, they were $60.
Dude, those tickets are at least $400. SeatGeek. Who sponsors us yet? Nobody. All right, so let's go to Game Time. Game Time, Phillies. My point being, dude, you sit right in front of the dugout of the Phillies game. You're a fucking Philadelphian. You're a blue collar guy. They're on a trash strike right now. You see this? There's trash all over the city because the union's on strike. The trash men. So this guy finally gets a break because he doesn't have to go to work because he's probably a trash man for 30 fucking years. Respect. Pays all this money to go to a Phillies game. They fucking lose. You should be able to call Bryson Stott a piece of shit to his face. That's just what Philly's about. But no, Castellanos has a problem. The other guys have a problem. Now they're screaming at a guy in the dugout for talking smack to Bryson Stott. Now listen, I would not talk smack to Bryson Stott or Castellanos or any of the guys. I got respect for all of them. But God forbid a trash man wants to talk a little smack at the Phillies game. You used to be able to do that,
Talk a little trash, maybe?
That's what I'm saying, man. You can't do that anymore. They had a big issue with that. So the Phillies fight a fan, which is, a drunk fan. You say he's drunk here, Mitchell. Do you have any proof that he's drunk?
I just am writing what the content producer for the Phillies wrote on LinkedIn. He went to LinkedIn to complain.
Okay, well, let me tell you the content producer. What's his name and address? Just kidding, don't say it. But listen, the senior video producer on LinkedIn, you're accusing this man of being drunk. Did we get a breathalyzer?
Did not.
Innocent until proven guilty. I don't know if that fan was drunk. If there's ever a time when a fan went too far that warranted a response from a player, that was it. Apparently, he said something to Stott that was like very, very, very bad. But to call a man drunk, I mean, that is just preposterous.
True.
There's no way.
Allegedly drunk.
Thank you. Another bullshit that we got in the Phillies series. Mitchell, I'm on your ass today, Mitchell. Hampel was seen taunting other fans after catching a home run ball. And this is what everyone on Twitter keeps saying. There's a new Zach Hampel tweet coming out. Now everyone wants to jump on board. Let's make fun of Zach Hampel and call him a piece of shit. Listen, he's not taunting anybody. He catches a home run ball, right? A Schwarber bomb?
Yeah.
So he catches a Schwarber bomb. That's one of the best, that's a legendary catch. You catch a Schwarber bomb, that's a feather in your cap, Not many people have caught Schwarber bombs. I mean, there's been a lot of Schwarber bombs, but it's not like a.
He hits them so far, no one can catch them.
They're is that a Savannah Banana shirt?
It's a Savannah Banana shirt.
Respect. He catches a Schwarber bomb, and he puts it right, holds it up in front of this person who has a fucking phone videoing him. So I'm guessing that's either his videographer, or just a random fan who wants to film him. He's not taunting them. He's showing it to the camera, dude, because the guy's a camera. Guy's big on media, social media. He knows when the camera's watching. He's a showman. He's not taunting anybody. And then people want to talk shit. Oh, he didn't give it to a kid who's like 2 rows in front of him. First of all, again, innocent until proven guilty. Where's the video? That clip is like 5 seconds long. He might have gave it to that kid. We don't know.
So why that kid?
Also, right, there's probably more kids. Why did that kid deserve it? He didn't catch shit. He had his opportunity.
That kid might be a piece of shit, dude.
Probably is, man. He's a Phillies fan. Most of them are. All respect.
Whoa.
All respect. But you know how they get. A little rude, those Phillies fans.
We can't go back to Philly.
Oh, we can't go back to Philly. We have warrants, bro. We have our car. My car's still. Oh, never mind. I'm never going back to Philly again after they towed my car. That was bullshit. Where's the Zach Campbell video? Zach Campbell. Yeah, so anyway, we can move on from Zach Campbell, but can we just respect greatness and not just jump on the guy for being an asshole? Okay? Sometimes people, high performers, are assholes. Some of your favorite artists on ever are usually bad, or, kind of rude to fans. Johnny Cash. You know what I mean?
So firstly, they came to mind how Johnny Cash treated his fans.
Maybe not the fans, but like he cheated on his wife and stuff. Like who else is mean to fans sometimes? Kanye makes good music, bad person, but you still gotta respect the music. Who else?
I mean, Barry Bonds.
Everyone wants to slob on Barry Bonds' knob all day. How did he treat fans? It was terrible to fans. I think you just got to respect greatness where greatness is due. Zach Campbell leads the league in home run catches for the 20th year in a row.
I will say I don't think Zach Campbell is rude to his fans. I think he quite appreciates his fans.
That's right.
Both of them?
Okay, man. You don't know shit about Zach Campbell, Jack. Stay out of this. You want to start a war with the Hampelites?
Yeah. He will sue you.
He will sue you.
For defamation?
Yeah, and that's what you just did. I will testify on Mr. Hample's behalf. But anyway, with the Phillies, Zach Wheeler dominates again. I don't have the line in front of me, but I think he pitched a complete game today.
I think he had a one-hitter.
He gave up 1 run, which means Zach Wheeler, not Zach Hample, Zach Wheeler.
Zach Hample pitching a one-hitter would be very impressive.
So Zach Wheeler throws a complete game, gives up 1 hit. That 1 hit's a home run and has 12 strikeouts, which is insane because Zach Wheeler has given up 3 runs in the past 2 months. Let's go back to Zach Hample's start from June.
Zach Wheeler.
Zach Wheeler.
Since June 9, he's given up 3 earned runs, and he's given up 2 additional unearned runs.
Okay. So now this is where we get into a discussion. So right now, pull up on Baseball Stat Head, compare Paul Skeens to Zach Wheeler. Because these are the 2 guys who have an argument to start in the All-Star game this year. And it's close, but I think I know which way it's going to go. Because, I mean, Skeens has been great all year. Another amazing start today by Skeens. They lost the game. Shocker. Skeens throws a shutout, 10 Ks, over 5 innings, I believe, and the Pirates lose 1-0. Right now, as we stand, what do we got on their stats?
They're going to be dead even today, after today in innings. Skeens went 5 innings, Wheeler went 9. So this is the yesterday's coming into today. 2.03 ERA for Skeens. His ERA lowered to 1.94 after today's start. And then do you have Zach Wheeler's ERA?
Zach Wheeler's ERA is 2.17.
So Skeens has him by 0.2 runs.
Slightly lower ERA for Skeens.
Wheeler has him like 23 more strikeouts after today.
Yeah. So, Skeens, funny enough, hasn't really been striking people out like he was last year. Which is, I think his K per 9 is under 9 right now. I was looking at someone who had better strikeout numbers and I was blown away. I think Logan Webb. Yeah,
it's
Logan,
just over 9.
Yeah, Logan Webb has more Ks per 9 than Paul Skeens. And Logan Webb is a fucking ground out, a sinker baller. But Logan Webb, today doesn't count for today's stats, so I'm sure it's not that much different. Logan Webb, 9.95 K per 9. Paul Skeens, 9.32.
After today, he's now at 9.7.
Okay, so, but, either way. So Paul Skeens has a slightly lower ERA, same amount of innings pitched. The whip, basically the same. Opponent batting average, basically the same. Wheeler beats him in strikeouts. Wheeler beats him in wins by a lot. I think that's important. Wins. So who starts, Mitch?
I feel like you got to give it to Wheeler. It's his hometown. It's his hometown. He's the vet. Skeens started last year.
This is the argument that people are going to make. Come on, Zach Wheeler, he's been an underrated pitcher for a decade. You look at his numbers since whatever year, he's probably been the best pitcher in baseball over the past 5-6 years, I want to guess. Has been unbelievable in the playoffs. He's from Georgia. He's got basically the same numbers as Skeens. A way longer track record. Why isn't he starting the All-Star game? Now, they haven't named an All-Star game starter, but you want me to tell you who it's going to be? Not Zach Wheeler.
I thought you had a Paul Skeens sound somehow.
Not Zach Wheeler. It's going to be Paul motherfucking Skeens. And Livy Dunn's going to be in the front row, and it's going to be beautiful. And guess what? I am so glad. I don't really... Why do you want to see Zach Wheeler start?
I don't know. I feel like Skeens got the start last year. The stats are pretty much even this year. And I don't know, the hometown coin flip,
I get it. He deserves it. The hometown and the whole career and the numbers are pretty similar. But when it comes to the league, what's good for the league, what's good for viewership, what's good for the game itself, it's Paul motherfucking Skeens.
I will say it would be fitting if he pitches the second or third inning, Wheeler, because I feel like he's the perpetual Cy Young runner-up.
That's true. Well, you gonna say it, Jack? Is he the best pitcher in baseball right now?
Skeens?
No. The other guy we're talking about.
Yeah, I feel like I think you're. Sure, I don't get who fuck knows, right?
That settles it. Zach Campbell is the best pitcher in baseball.
But I am curious to know what Skeens looks like on a baseball team. You know what I mean?
On a team better than the Pirates?
Yeah, like a team that performs and is good.
What do you mean, dude? The Pirates? Dude, the Pirates going in this series against the Mariners. Are we talking about the same Pirates? Because they've won 6 games in a row, Jack. Okay? 3 games against the Mets, swept them. 3 games against the Cardinals, swept them. Outscored their opponents 43-4.
Didn't allow a run against the Cardinals.
Didn't allow a single run against the St. Louis Cardinals, Jack.
How they looking the whole season?
They have the 5th best pitching staff according to F4 this season. You didn't fucking know that? Who knew that? That is crazy to me. I learned this the other night, and it blew my fucking head off. The Pirates have the 5th best pitchers, not starting pitchers, pitchers by F4 this season. Mitchell's looking into it.
No, I just see Dennis Santana has a 1.46 ERA.
Respect to Dennis Santana. They have the 7th best ERA in baseball. Does that not blow your fucking brain? I mean, the Pirates, who are the biggest laughingstock in the league for the first month of the season, not only did they suck, they got no run support for Skeens. Every 5 days, they just get trolled on Twitter. The guy fell from the stands. The usher beat a fan. The owner took off, replaced Clemente with a seltzer advertisement, and they chanted "Sell the team" on the Paul Skeens bobblehead night. But yet, despite all of that, they're playing really good baseball right now. And you want to know something really funny? They have 1 less win than the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah.
Everything comes here.
For the Atlanta Braves. But the Pittsburgh Pirates, man, I guess they've earned Paul Skeens. They're not going to trade him, huh? Definitely not going to trade him. That pitching staff, without Jared Jones and Bubba Chandler, who's the #1 pitching prospect in baseball, who hasn't been called up yet, I got to say, that's something to hang your hat on if you're a Pirates fan.
I feel like these numbers are photoshopped. I keep looking at them. I mean, it's the Dennis Santana thing. Like, that's good. That guy was on waivers forever. He went to like 5 different teams on waivers.
Dude,
and he has a 1.61 ERA.
Bro, I'm telling you, the Pirates might have a pitching lab. Like, I think the Pirates got shit on for years for having the opposite of a pitching lab, and they Garrett Cole left them and became one of the best pitchers.
You know
in
who they
baseball,
have
and
as their
Glasnow,
pitching
too.
coach?
Who?
Brent Strom, the guy who was the Astros pitching coach for a long time.
Oh, he went to
And then he went to the D-backs, and then they fired him.
They fired him?
And so he went to Pittsburgh.
Oh,
I think you're right.
There you go. That makes perfect fucking sense. It's the best pitching coach in baseball. Why would the Diamondbacks fire him?
Because they had a bunch of terrible relievers, and he couldn't fix them.
Dude, he took him to the World Series 2 years ago in his first year. I want to say like the pitching coach took him to the World Series, but you know what I mean? He got there in 2023, correct? Oh my God.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like, that
2022.
same thing with the Braves guy. The Braves are the best offense in the fucking history. Have one bad year, they fire the hitting coach. It's like, why even have a hitting coach? Like,
There are like a few coaches in baseball that make an actual difference. And I think Brent Strom is one of those coaches. He's a very unassuming dude. He's like, what, 75? 76? He looks like he's an old school dude. No. This dude was part of the Astros, like the pitching factory. He knows what he's doing.
yeah, I mean, he's known across baseball. Like, I mean, dude, we don't know any fucking thing about the inner workings of like coaching within a locker room and shit, dude. But
He's the one who told Charlie Morton, hey, you average 94. You can actually hit 99. Like, you can do it. And Charlie Morton's going, what are you talking about? Goes out there, throws 99 with the sickest curveball. Changes that dude's career.
yeah,
That was Strom.
that blows my mind. Because that same thing with the Braves, like firing the hitting coach after one bad season. Why would you do that? And I always think like there has to be a reason behind the scenes. Like, but for them to fire, what's his name? Brent Strom?
Brent.
That's crazy. But now he's on the Pirates, and then look what happens. They have the 5th best pitching staff in baseball. But unfortunately, they run into the Big Dumper. Big Dumper hits 2 bombs against the Pirates. He's on pace for 64 home runs. So, is he the best player of all time?
Might be the best catcher of all time.
You got stuff on this series, right? The Pirates-Mariners series. Anything stand out to you?
So, coming into the series, the Pirates had just shut out the Cardinals for the entire series. Then they go to Seattle, and they don't score a single run the entire series. The last 2 games of the series were 1-0, 1-0. Randy Arozarena homer today. That was the only run. You've got stuff on George Kirby, but since he came off the IL, he had 2 bad starts, and since then he has a 2.68 ERA. I think the Mariners pitching might be back.
Yeah, I mean, they just shut out the Pirates an entire series. That's good for them. I mean, this whole team feels like it's been carried by the big dumper all season. He's on pace for 64 home runs. Randy Arozarena has been fire. He's been fire recently. He hit 1 too that same day. The dumper had 2. And they just shut out the Pirates for an entire series. I mean, they only scored 2 runs in the last 2 games. But Paul Skeens, goddamn, bro. 5 shutout innings, 10 Ks. Lowers his ERA to 1.94, and they lose 1-0. The most Paul Skeens start of all time. But hey, that Pirates pitching staff ERA goes down. They might be 4th in baseball now after tonight. Gotta respect it. Gotta
I
respect
think I'm gonna get home tonight and just be thinking about the Pirates ERA. This is truly like I missed this when I was doing the adding to the doc. This mind-blowing stuff.
That's all I do is find mind-blowing stuff. No one wants to talk about how good the Pirates are. I will. No one wants to talk about how bad the Guardians are. I mean, the Guardians. What an unfortunate series of events for Cleveland. You know, and Sophie Cunningham, the center for Caitlin Clark's team, goes out and says, no one wants to go to Detroit or Cleveland. And then they play a baseball series against each other to prove that these are 2 viable cities for a WNBA franchise. And the Guardians just show nothing. So it's like, good luck, Cleveland. Now you're not going to get a WNBA team. You just got swept by the Tigers again, and you lost 9 in a row. And it's terrible for the WNBA.
I took a great offense to that comment by Cunningham.
Cunningham.
Who wants to go to Indianapolis? Like, she's acting like she's from one of the big 3 cities in the U.S. or whatever. She's in Indianapolis.
I know, dude. And that makes...
They don't even have sidewalks there.
And I bet a lot of people in Indianapolis read into that and say, you know, well, if you don't like Detroit and you don't like Cleveland, what do you think about our town? The Hoosier State. So you're on notice, Miss Cunningham. Mitchell does not fuck with that. The Midwest bias. You know what I'm saying? Hate on the Midwest. All right?
And that's just Midwest on Midwest hate. But I think they're all...
She's probably from
Yeah.
fucking...
I mean, she played for Phoenix for like a decade or whatever.
So you know. We got to do some WNBA segments with Mitchell. Because I'm trying to learn more in the league. Every time I see WNBA, one of their players says something ridiculously dumb or arrogant. Because my algorithm is just like, oh, you want to hear something stupid about the WNBA? You should hate this shit.
I think Sophie Cunningham, she does the Suns on-court reporting during her off-season.
Really?
And then she was playing for the Mercury? Yeah, Mercury. And then they traded her. She signed with the Fever. I don't know what. But like she was the on-court reporter.
Respect. I respect her game. But this is the Sophie Cunningham series right here. Detroit versus Cleveland. And what happened, Mitchell?
J.K. Simmons, the actor, cursed the Guardians.
That sucks.
So he's a Michigan dude. He's a Tigers fan. I don't know why he agreed to throw the first pitch for the Guardians.
What movies is he in? I never
Whiplash.
heard of this guy. Okay, Whiplash.
He's the dude.
Whiplash, Spider-Man.
I've heard of Spider-Man.
He's the what's his face in
He's the guy
Spider-Man?
who's like, Spider-Man! That guy.
The news reporter dude.
Sorry, I'm just looking at pictures of Sophie Cunningham right now. Keep going.
Anyway, Simmons is a Tigers fan. He showed up to the Guardians stadium in Guardians gear. Would you throw the first pitch for the Phillies in Phillies gear?
No.
What else are you gonna wear?
Braves gear.
Like, as a Braves fan, I just can't picture myself wearing, like, your number one rival's gear.
This guy's rocking fucking Tigers hats every day.
But underneath, he makes sure he reps the Tigers stuff, and they are 0-10 since he threw the first pitch in Cleveland.
Sucks to suck. What other movies is he in?
He's in a lot of movies. He's like a great actor. I can't think of a single one. He played Santa Claus in one.
I love Santa. That's a
he's-
tough role too. That's a very tough role.
He's in that
Underrated role.
farmer's insurance ad.
Oh yeah, because he looks like the guy from the painting.
He's in the Tomorrow War.
Oh my god,
Chris
that's
Pratt.
no, it's
He plays Chris Pratt's buff little dad.
too violent for me.
I
Tigers.
watched that last night,
Respect.
and I was like, "Where have I seen this guy?"
Good doing your research. I like that.
Yeah.
So basically, for this series, the Guardians just don't show up offensively. They lost game 1. J-Ram hit a homer, but the Tigers hit 2 solo homers. Tigers win game 2 after just getting 2 hits. And then today, the Guardians go into the 9th inning. They have a 1-0 lead. Emmanuel Clase is on the mound. He hits a batter. A batter gets the third with 2 outs. He throws a wild pitch. The game goes into extras. The Tigers score 5-6 in the top of the 10th. They have Cade Smith on the mound. He had given up 1 homer in 111 innings prior to this inning. And then he allows 2 homers, and the Guardians just get smoked in extra innings.
Yeah, it's been tough for the Guardians, and that's 9 in a row.
10 in a row.
10 in a row. Oh my god, they're worse than the Braves.
But it's tough when you have a player getting put on administrative leave for potential gambling.
We'll get to that. I mean, they've scored how many runs? 1, 2, 4 runs this series, and that's only because of extra innings. They really should have scored 3 runs all series. Balls are dead, dude. All these series are low scoring. God damn. Yeah, and now they have a fucking player going on administrative leave for potential gambling. I like that. Potentially. We don't know for sure. But potentially. Luis Ortiz. Did you know much about Luis Ortiz before?
Never heard of him.
Never heard of. Well, my friend did a couple days ago tell me he bet on him to win something, and then I was thinking he was talking about a different Ortiz, but then I was like, oh, Luis Ortiz. And he's in the gambling world, and he bet on Luis Ortiz. Maybe there's some.
Maybe that was the flag.
I gotta talk to Jordan about that. I sent him the news article. He didn't respond. A little suspicious. But he'll be on leave for the All-Star break. So he was scheduled to start against the Cubs on Thursday. He has 4.36 ERA and 16 starts. So he's a fringe guy. This is a guy, I want to say, probably getting paid league minimum. How old is he?
3 years of service time.
So he's getting paid league minimum, not a guy who's getting, $20 million a year. A guy where $100,000 on DraftKings to throw a ball would be enticing. He was flagged for 2 pitches. First one was on June 15th in the 2nd inning. This pitch, it was flagged as suspicious when there was unusual betting action on the first ball or hit by pitch. On a first pitch ball or hit by pitch. So they bet that the first pitch of the game, was it? Or the first pitch of the 2nd inning would be a ball or hit by pitch. And he threw a slider well out of the zone. The 21st lowest pitch of the season. It was not even close. The guy spiked it. Pretty hilarious. And I want to say, and he reacted like, oh shit, what happened? Damn. Like he pretended to be mad. Or maybe he did. Innocent until proven guilty. The second one was on June 27th when he spiked a slider leading off the inning. The pitch was the worst PZ, vertical height, he's thrown all year. So spiked it again. Both of these were blow-up innings, so he ended up having terrible innings during those. So he allowed 5 in that inning on June 15th and 3 in the inning on June 27th. So that's what happens. Bad karma. You throw one ball and you get blown up the rest of it. Unless he was betting on other things too. They're also showing this clip where he strikes out Anthony Volpe and looks like he gets pissed after getting a strikeout. Little suspicious, but MLB apparently is not investigating that one. So I'll be honest, man, Mr. Ortiz, innocent until proven guilty. You look guilty as fuck, bro.
I just don't understand what's stopping someone who has a lot of money and just hates a certain player on their favorite team from going, this guy throws a ball 50% of the time. I'm just going to pump $100,000 one of these innings for them to throw a ball, and it's going to look really suspicious.
It's a good point. It is a very good point. Because basically the way it works is now, like, all these gambling companies out there, all above board, and like DraftKings, FanDuel, all of them are like regulated by the government. Now they have all these, I guess, third party organizations that have all the data and they can scan all the bets for suspicious betting. So they know that, like, listen, you can bet any inning of any baseball game live betting that the first pitch of the inning is going to be a ball. All right. But how many people do you think are really betting on that every inning? Very few. So if someone just randomly puts $100,000 that the first pitch is going to be a ball, immediately they're going to be like, okay, what the fuck? Why? They're going to look into their account. They're going to do some, digging. This is potentially suspicious. And that's what happened. These two balls, someone bet a fuck ton of money on it. And it looks like he was in on it. I don't know. Luis Ortiz. Probably banned for life.
I feel like they have to know there's some sort of connection with the account before they put the dude on administrative leave. But I just am like, if I had a ton of money and I just really hated a certain player on my team, I could at least put them on the administrative leave for like 10 days by just betting an insane amount of money.
Just right before the playoffs. Bryce Harper to walk. Or
Bryce Harper, first pitch, no swing.
Bryce Harper, strikeout looking. Whew. God, guys. Got to stay off the sports books. God, it's not good for the integrity of the game, man. These guys throwing shit away. I wonder how often this happens. The thing is, it's like, I feel like it's rare because it's like, it only, like I say, if you bet that much for it to actually be worth it for an MLB player, it seems like they'd have you. Like, to me, this seems like he's got to be the dumbest guy ever to think he could get away with this. Or just not be just ignorant to how obvious it is when you put $100,000 plus on something like that. Or maybe I'm not. Maybe a ton of guys are getting away with this and I don't know.
Do you think like those 4 ERA guys are just like, oh, I'll bet $100 that I'll throw a ball in the third inning on the first pitch? And they're just like slowly making up the league minimum?
For real, yeah. Just betting $50 on yourself, just risking your entire career because you got like a 50% boost on a same game parlay. Like, damn. I can add this to a leg. It's a lock for sure. Unbelievable. Why'd you put the Braves in here, dude? We don't want to talk about the Braves. But they got swept, didn't they?
Yeah, they got swept.
They got swept by the Orioles, man.
Hey, they're good now.
The Orioles are good now. They got the same record as the Braves. So if the Orioles are good, that means we're good because we got the same
They got
exact
a
record.
better record than the Braves.
No.
They swept today.
Okay, well, Baseball Reference is on yesterday. So until Baseball Reference updated, it's not official. So what do you got on this series? I watched maybe 3 innings of this series.
Yeah. So Charlie Morton is like 57 through the highest RPM curveball of his entire career as a 41-year-old. Since he re-entered the rotation, he has a 2.97 ERA.
He's back.
He has a lower ERA than Max Fried, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. He has 1 fewer K than Paul Skeens, more strikeouts than DeGrom, Fried, and Yamamoto, and has pitched just as many innings as Zach Wheeler. Like, that's legitimately a good pitcher over the last month and a half.
Yeah. And since they fired Hyde, they've been good.
They have the same record as the Mets, 25-21.
Sheesh.
Actually, I guess after today, they have a better record than the Mets since they fired Hyde. Their catchers are, like, keep dying. In the last week and a half, 2 weeks, they have had 4 catchers go on the IL.
Is Gary hurt?
Gary got hurt.
No.
Chadwick Trump got hurt.
Chadwick's on the Orioles?
Maverick Hanley got hurt.
Maverick.
Adley Rushman got hurt. All in the last 4 days. They went out and acquired a catcher Sunday morning because they had no more left.
Let's trade him Sean Murphy for Jackson Holiday, Charlie Morton, and throw in Gunner.
I think that's a fair trade.
Who says no? They need a catcher. Sean Murphy. You're a Baltimore Oriole.
Yeah, I don't know. The Braves suck.
He's a ginger. He's got orange beard. Why not play for the orange team? Braves have lost 9 out of 10, 9 out of 11.
9 out of 11.
9 out of the last 11. But Jurgensen Profar, man, he's doing good. Dude, I said that we had to boo Jurgensen Profar. They did not boo him for shit, dude. They clapped for his ass.
What a disappointment.
They clapped for him. And now I can't flush it. Like, dude, if you would have booed him, I would have said, all right, 1 boo. Now you ride with him. But he hits a home run. I can't even respect it because no one booed him.
I think I was driving somewhere. I was in the passenger seat. I was like, I got to tune in to hear the Braves fans boo Jurickson. And I heard nothing.
No, it's no.
Nothing at all.
It's Southern hospitality, Mitchell. You got to respect the Southern hospitality. Jergy is one of us now. And since coming back, he's hit 2 home runs with an OPS over 824, a slugging of 588 for Jurgensen Profar in 4 games, injecting life into the Atlanta Braves. It's just like Acuna when he came back.
Joey, where the fuck do you get the G from? What are you doing?
Don't worry about it, Jack.
Is it a thing that I'm not? Do I not understand something? What am I missing?
Jurgensen, I always call him. That's how I pronounce Jurgensen Profar.
That's how you pronounce Jurgensen?
Yes.
Jurgensen.
Yes. Jesus Christ.
Is it like an inability to say it, or is this like a choice? What's
Nope.
going on here?
Have you ever heard him pronounce it?
No.
Then who the fuck are you to say how it's pronounced? I pronounce it the way it's supposed to be pronounced.
So whenever you meet Jurgensen for the first time and you're interviewing him and you're grilling him, are you going to just call him Jerky the whole time?
Jerky.
I don't call him Jergy. I'll call him whatever he wants to. I'll say Mr. Profar. It's nice to meet you. I'd say it ain't so, Jergy. Did you do steroids or not? No, but
I'm not trying to bully you.
Sounds like you are. Whatever.
Jack, the Braves are dead and you're just over here laughing. We're having a terrible time right now. We're both miserable and you're just like...
I'm not miserable. I don't give a fuck. I'm out on the Braves.
I'm miserable.
I'm not caring until they score. You're the one who wears the Pirates hats all the time. Don't act like you're all depressed. Dude, I've been out on the Braves for the past week. I knew they were going to suck. Anytime they lose, I'm like, whatever. Yeah, they're supposed to lose. They're Atlanta Braves. It's not our season. You're going to have a bad season every once in a while. All right? It's not a good season. It's not that big of a deal. We'll have a better one next year. All right? We got a new season starting next week. All-Star break is next week. New season after next week. Go to the All-Star break. You get a good rest. You come back. Revitalize. You go on a run. But until the All-Star break, don't care if we lose. New season starts at the All-Star break. I will say this about the Atlanta Braves. We have a positive run differential still. So that counts for something. The Miami Marlins, who are ahead of the Braves right now, have a minus 71 run differential, and they have a better record than us. I believe the Blue Jays, I call it the best team in baseball. Right now have a plus 12, but like 2 days ago, they had the same run differential as the Braves. So the Braves, they had a plus 4 run differential. The Braves had a plus 4 run differential. One was in first place. One has a worse record than the Miami Marlins. And that's just the way it goes sometimes. Not to say that run differential means anything. I'm just saying it's interesting.
The Braves are like 3-50 in one-run games too. Like they cannot win a one-run game. They lost another one today.
Nor should they. Hot take. If you're not going to win by a lot, don't win at all. I like that. Could be worse. It could be the Nationals. The Nationals just got dominated by the Red Sox. They gave up 27 runs to the Red Sox, who haven't exactly been the best offensive team. Did they get swept?
Red Sox swept. They got to face a rookie, what's his name? Shin Owagawa?
Oh, you're going to give Mitchell shit for mispronouncing names, Jack? You know, you give me shit. You're not going to give Mitchell?
I mean, you got to be phonetic, right? A little.
Shinosuke Ogasawa.
Shinizuka Ogasawa?
Yeah. My Japanese producer over here. Got it. He comes up. He allows like 4 runs in 2 innings. Terrible debut. And then after the game, the Nationals are like, you know what? We're done with this.
That was just kind of a surprise. So they fire their GM, Mike Rizzo, and their manager, Davey Martinez. These are 2 guys who won a World Series for the Natty Nats. And it's just been a tough year, man. It has just been a tough year for the Nats. But it's not like the expectations were high for the Nats. I mean, they're just such a young team. And those 3 guys they got in the Soto trade have worked perfectly. But I want to say everybody else hasn't. Because you look at the Nats right now, and they have Mackenzie Gore, who's had a great season. You have C.J. Abrams, who's had a great season. You have James Wood, who's been one of the best players in baseball. And those are your three best players, Mackenzie Gore, C.J. Abrams, and James Wood. And those are the three guys you got in the Juan Soto trade. Now, who did the Juan Soto trade, Mitchell?
Rizzo.
Mr. Rizzo. So why are you going to fire the guy who made the best trade of all time? I don't know. I don't make those decisions.
So the Nationals have the second worst record in baseball for this since winning the World Series. So they won the championship, and then they have a worse record since then, since the Pirates, A's, and White Sox, who have all been notoriously bad. Aside from the James Wood, C.J. Abrams, Mackenzie Gore, that acquisition, they really have not had any success. So it's been a 5-year rebuild. They're worse than the Braves, and there's not really like hope in sight, you know?
Yeah, because it's like those three guys have worked out, but that's the thing. When I talk to Nats fans, it's like, yeah, but who are you going to add to that? I mean, you guys have the three great players. You got the trade, but you're the worst team in baseball, other than worst team in the National League right now. Second worst behind the Rockies. You know, you're worse than the Braves. You're worse than the Marlins. You're the fifth team in a division that's pretty stacked and is going to be stacked going forward. Who knows? The Braves are questionable, but the Mets and the Phillies, they're not going anywhere. It's just tough to see the future. It's almost like they need another rebuild, but they just did a rebuild. They were hoping, I think the plan was to let's get to 500 this year. And let's get some players other than these three guys, make some strides, and it just has not happened yet.
They've also been really aggressive with promotions, and it worked out with James Wood, who is a top 10 hitter in baseball. He's legitimately good. He's not struggled at all at the major league level. But then Dylan Cruz, he got injured in May, but before then was one of the worst hitters in baseball. They tried with Brady House, and he has not done well in his first 18 games. And then they have a bunch of pitchers who are not well-known prospects, but they have all regressed this year too.
Yep, well, hey, maybe the new manager comes in that shakes things up and they end up playing hot and things turn around for the boys. But it's a questionable spot for the Nationals, a weird place to be in. And the manager, I was listening to what Passan said about it. Passan said he was attributing the quote from Davey Martinez, that it's not the coach's fault, it's the players. Apparently that did not go over well in the clubhouse.
I mean, I would have fired Martinez right after that.
And then he didn't fire him, so they fired the Rizzo.
Since
you didn't fire the manager, we're going to fire your ass too.
But I think Rizzo, he's been the GM for 16 years now.
Dude, they did a bobblehead night for Rizzo last year.
I bet those are worth a lot now. But as you trade Juan Soto in 2022 to accelerate the rebuild, and we're here 3 years later, and they're basically in the same spot.
I'll tell you what, he did get, they won a World Series. I will say about Rizzo, not to say that he's a bad GM, I'm not going to say that, but he did get pretty fucking lucky getting Bryce Harper and Steven Strasburg back-to-back #1 overall picks.
He also hit on Max Scherzer, one of the most successful free agent contracts of all time. You give a starting pitcher in their 30s, $150 million? Usually that backfires.
But, you got to give him credit for that.
No,
for Strasburg and Harper, that's anyone would have done that.
Yeah, for sure.
You had two of the best, draft picks and just clear-cut #1 guys I can remember of my lifetime, back-to-back drafts.
And then you just call up a 19-year-old who was a top prospect for half a season on one of the list, and he turns out to be one of the greatest hitters of this generation.
Yeah. Hey, you got to there's luck and skill involved with this. But he's out. And the Nationals lose. And right before their first pick, who are they going to pick in the draft next week?
Isn't it going to be Ethan Holiday? I haven't seen anybody say anyone else.
No, I've heard everybody say it could be somebody else. I don't pay attention to the draft, but I did get my intel from Mitchell saying that Ethan was the runaway favorite, but I heard Passan and a lot of people say that we don't know who's going to be. There's debates. So I wouldn't, Ethan Holiday, I wouldn't get your hopes up too high to be a Washington National. It would be pretty cool to have the Holidays, the DMV rivalry, Beltway series, Orioles versus the Nationals, which looks like they could be just two of the worst teams for like the next few. Who knows what the world.
That's the only thing that sells tickets.
Yeah. Hey, but maybe that just means nature's healing. The Orioles and the Nats are supposed to suck forever. Unlike the Cardinals and the Cubs. 8 home runs in one game on July 4th. The Cubs love America. Fireworks in Chicago. And I watched highlights for that. One of the most electric fucking environments ever. Sold out Wrigley Day game, 4th of July. And they were hitting bomb after bomb after bomb. PCA makes a catch that has a 0% catch probability. How is that possible?
Before he caught it, any ball that had those specs had never been caught before.
Interesting. Also, I want to add this. We're not going to talk about it, but I'm out on catch probability. Don't listen to it. All advanced metrics, I don't believe anymore.
You going back to the basics?
Going-
Batting average
Batting average and wins. That's what works for me. Cubs take a 5-3 lead in the third. So what happened? Actually, Mitchell, tell me what happened.
Game 2.
What in game 1 the Cubs win?
The Cubs won game 1. They just could not stop homering.
Well, the Cubs swept the Cardinals.
No.
Oh.
So in game 2, the Cubs had a 5-3 lead in the 8th inning. Then the Cardinals put up 5 runs, and they won game 2. But then today...
And it was my boy, Yohel Pozo, which is one of my favorite guys right now. Pozo. This guy's physique is a sight to see. Not an athletic physique whatsoever. Think Alejandro Kirk, but a little taller, and he hits ding-dongs, bro. Sometimes you see a guy in a baseball uniform, you're like, how the fuck is this a professional athlete? And he is.
I think Alejandro Kirk has a better physique. Kirk looks like a guy that you take the height all the way down in MLB The Show and then just make him as fat as possible. This guy's height is too much.
Yeah, Pozo, gotta respect it. Being fat makes you better at baseball. We've made a video about it, and he definitely applies. And he's really good at baseball. I think he actually is doing really good this year, Pozo. Pozo, what a name.
He doesn't have a lot of...
He's been around, too, since... I guess he came up in 2021, played 21 games, and haven't seen him against. But now at 28 years old, he's up. With a 131 OPS plus, Mitchell, and we can stop there. 131 OPS plus.
You're out on those advanced metrics. What's his batting
Listen,
average?
Shut the front door, dude. Act like OPS plus is an advanced metric. It's basically... OPS is not advanced, and OPS plus is basically OPS, so...
Well, he's hitting 329, so
Respect.
he passes the old man test.
Respect. And they win game 2 because of Pozo.
Then today, Eric Fetty, he sucks now. He's allowed 17 runs in his last 3 starts. His ERA has gone from 3.54 to 4.79. And the Cubs just destroyed the Cardinals on Sunday Night Baseball.
Damn,
11-0.
Damn, back-to-back 7-run games for Mr. Fetty.
And then today, the Cardinals were like, we're not even going to let you pitch enough innings to allow 7 runs again.
Ooh.
He went 1.1 innings.
Ooh. I got to say, that is a great 4th of July series. Cardinals and Cubs, that just seems American as fuck to me.
And all of the homers.
Yes. Home runs. America loves dropping bombs. Sorry, Iran. Get fucked! No, I'm just playing around. But moving on. Jack leaves the room when we talk about the Rays, dude, because he's so embarrassed. Have the mighty have fallen. The Rays. Oh my god. The Rays were such a good team, and then they run into the freaking Athletics. And they lose 2 out of 3 of the Athletics. And then the Twins, who have been just as bad as the Athletics. No.
The Athletics?
No, let me chill. The Twins might be worse than the Athletics going in this series. However, game 1, Harrison Bader, walk-off home run. Game 2, Twins, walk-off bunt. 2 walk-off bunts in one weekend. Gosh, I love small ball. The Rays win today. What happened in the game today? Because I know it was a fucking crazy game, because I know the Twins were about to win that game. Do you know?
No, I just saw that they called up Joe Boyle and he pitched 5 innings with no earned runs, and now he has a 0 ERA in his 10 innings.
For real, it's just the most Rays thing ever. They called up Joe Boyle. Who? Yeah, he's got a 0 ERA.
He pitched against the Braves like 3 months ago and no hit them.
Yeah, we just call this guy up every like 2 months, and he just has a complete game shutout. We just send him down.
He had 5 no-hit innings against the Braves, and then he has not pitched since then. They go, great job, Joe. We're sending you back, and you're going to stay there for months.
How did he pitch today?
5 innings, 1 unearned run. And I would bet he's about to get sent down again. They go, good job, you ate a lot of innings. We'll see you in September.
Respect. Gotta respect the Rays. Gotta respect the Rays. Right now, where we at? I mean, the Rays struggled a little bit against, like I said, the Athletics beat them 2 out of 3, and then they lost 2 out of 3 to the Twins. Not the 2 toughest opponents, so they're on a little bit of a down stretch. But right now, they're tied with the Yankees. The Rays are.
I mean, the Yankees have to be thanking God that the Rays could not beat the Twins and the A's, because they would easily be in third place if the Rays could have won those series.
Yeah. What do you think? Are you scared of the Blue Jays or the Rays? Who do you think's better?
The Blue Jays offense is really interesting. I didn't realize how good they were over the last, month and a half.
Uh-huh.
Their pitching is still bad, but trade deadline's right around the corner. You acquire a good arm, you're fixed. The Rays, magic. I'd never count them out. Yeah,
it's the Rays that have magic. They got some guys too. I mean, Aranda's been like one of the best, most valuable players in baseball hitting wise. Aranda, I was looking at, I think he's got like the number 1 on base percentage in baseball, just randomly. No one ever talked about Jonathan Aranda. He's 4th in on base percentage. WRC plus, he is. Excuse me, I don't even know, but I'm getting lost on the leaderboards right now.
Yeah, they have a guy, Junior Caminero, and he has a 124 WRC plus. He's 21. I think I've missed this. I think I just realized he's only 21, but he leads the league in double plays. And I looked it up, and when he comes up to the plate with a double play potential, like runner on first, less than 2 outs, he either gets a hit 40% of the time or he hits into a double play 40% of the time.
This guy must just hit a lot of ground balls or something. But that's like always, every guy in the Rays has to have some random outlier where there's some weird reason why everyone else in the league thought he was going to suck, but the Rays were like, well, this guy is going to be good for whatever reason. So they ends up like, okay, he just hits a ground ball 79% of the time, but it's good for some reason. And then you get a guy has a 126 OPS plus and leads the league in grounded and double plays somehow. It's the most Rays shit ever. We got to respect it.
Yeah, Aranda has a OPS higher than Soto.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yu Darvish is coming back. You excited for Yu Darvish? You think he's going to be good? Padres need him.
No, I don't think he's going to be good, but I am excited he's back. I love a guy who throws like 40 pitches.
He throws 43 pitches now, actually. He just took a year and a half off. Like, I mean, when was the last time Yu Darvish pitched? I feel like it's been forever.
I can't remember if he even pitched last year.
It's been a nonstop, like, okay, he's on the 10-day, he's on the 15-day, and he had to go back to Japan last year for some personal issues. Then he came back. I don't think he ever pitched, and then it was like he's ramping up, blister, finger. I don't even know what his injury was. They paid this guy a lot of money.
They restructured his contract to pay him a lot of money. He's still getting paid through 2028. Right now, he's a 38-year-old.
38-year-old. No spring chicken. But he returns tomorrow. They're playing right now, huh? Who's winning?
What is up with all of these night games on a Sunday?
I know, it's weird. It's got to be something to do with 4th of July weekend. But there's 2 night games tonight?
There were 3. So you had the Cubs and Cardinals, the Padres and the Rangers, and then the A's and the Giants.
I'll tell you what. I don't mind it. Because I don't really like watching the game on ESPN, to be honest.
I think I'm just conditioned to there only being one game on Sunday night, and it's kind of breaking my brain.
Yeah, it's only been like that for 30 years. Our whole lives has been one game on Sunday night. But now we got, and then there's not even good games. Like, does anyone really want to watch the Athletics versus the Giants? That bad? I mean, the Giants did finally. Sorry, did the Giants? They're not. It's a rivalry game, Mitchell.
Is it though?
Athletics Giants.
Do you think all of these people in Sacramento are clamoring to the stadium because the Giants are in town?
I think there's probably more Giants fans than A's fans there. Maybe I don't know how far away that is. But what happened so far in the Giants A series, if you know?
First game of the series, just A's crushed the Giants. Denzel Clark hits a 471-foot bomb.
All that.
He's funny. He hits bombs and strikes out, and then he plays the most elite defense you'll ever see.
471 feet.
Then the Logan Webb pitched his first game at home ever. He's from Sacramento. He said he grew up going to these games at Sutter Hill Park. He dominates the A's, and then right now it's 1-0 Giants.
Well, the Giants are doing a little better then. I mean, the Giants, they were lost. Oh, they were like 3-15 going into that Diamondbacks series, but then they won the last two against the Diamondbacks.
So now the Diamondbacks are the ones that are lost.
Yeah. So hey, maybe the Jung Hoo Lee. I'm sorry. That's probably been the biggest disappointment for the Giants, because I mean, when the Giants were hitting on all cylinders going into the season, that was the guy who was like, holy shit, that's why you paid him all that money for coming out from Korea. But since May, he's got a 616 OPS. Not good. On the brighter note for the Giants is that Robbie Ray might be a Cy Young candidate, which would be hilarious, because Robbie Ray, who already has a Cy Young, the most forgettable Cy Young of all time, no one remembers Robbie Ray, Cy Young winner. Ever since then has been injured and not very good. But this year so far, 2.68 ERA, 18 starts.
Is he going to start the All-Star game?
You just never know. It's going to be Paul Skeens. Everyone knows that. And maybe if Robbie Ray started dating a TikToker. Imagine if Robbie Ray, who I'm assuming has wife and kids, 33 years old, just starts dating fucking, trying to think of one. That's how, me, I'm more of a books guy. I don't really know TikTok shit. Jack, name a TikToker. Who's the hottest young TikToker these days?
Hot
on the
hot
scene.
chick?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, hot chick.
No
hot on the
fucking
scene.
clue. I mean, I see women on TikTok. I don't know their names.
Respect.
I don't know anybody's. Not just
I
'cause
see
they're
women
hot.
on TikTok. I don't really know.
I'm not ignoring.
They don't
their
have
names.
the okay. Addison Ray. If Robbie Ray starts that, Addison Ray. Come on, dude. Makes sense. If Robbie Ray started dating Addison Ray, he'd have a chance at starting the All-Star game. Unfortunately, I believe the guy is taken. So, but that would be a good couple. Robbie Ray, Addison Ray. Come on. White Sox, Rockies. What do you got on this series?
It's the battle for the worst team in
my
baseball.
God.
So the White Sox won the series, but did they actually?
Respect. White Sox won the series. Rockies won a game, though.
They did. I thought the White Sox were going to sweep, and then they blew a lead in the 7th.
Rockies won a game. Gotta respect it. Marlins won a game, too. Marlins were the hottest team in baseball before this weekend. 9 out of 10 for the Marlins. Yuri Perez, shut down the Twins on Thursday before this. Yuri Perez is back. He had I don't know how many Ks, but he looks just like Pedro Martinez. Look at Yuri Perez, video of Yuri Perez. He came back and just said, I'm going to be Pedro Martinez of 2025. And I'm in for it, bro. Guy's throwing 99 miles per hour. All his starts have been bad except for the last one. I think he's going to return back to form. But fuck, man. Yuri Perez is Pedro Martinez.
Isn't he 6'7"?
He's tall. He's a tall drink. He's a tall glass of water.
So he's Pedro Martinez if you just stretched him out.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I mean, Pedro Martinez is stretched out if you've seen him recently. Wide, though. Nah. All due respect to a legend.
Dude, I've been playing the show. I could have hit that.
Respect. Jack's good at the plate.
I could hit that ball, bro.
Jack, you're a relief pitcher.
Yeah. This guy got MLB this show, did a road to show, and became a relief pitcher. Then came and talked to Mitchell. Do they not hit or something? It's annoying. It's what is wrong with this game?
You weren't here for the conversation. That's how Mitch related to you. Really, what I said was,
Let's move on. Okay. So the Marlins, they lose 2 out of 3 out of the Brewers to the Brewers? What happened?
2 out of 3 to the Brewers. But the Brewers have been one of the best teams recently. I don't have the numbers down, but like their offense finally picked it up in June. And
Watch out, Cubs.
yeah, I mean 6-4 in their last 10, not the wow factor, but overall their offense was one of the worst offenses like on June 12th. And since then they have 2 or 3 guys who are not hitting and everyone else is like Caleb Durbin. They acquired him from the Yankees in the Devin Williams trade. He gets called up and is terrible for a month. And now he's a league average hitter. So just balance right back.
Caleb Durbin. Christian Yelich. It's not over yet for Christian Yelich. Great season. Rhys Hoskins, you thought it was over for him? Not over yet for Rhys Hoskins. Having a great season. All their pitchers are having good seasons. That's probably been the difference.
Hoskins
Brewers.
is on the shelf. He just got a grade 2 thumb sprain. They're calling up the most mid player to ever exist, Andrew Vaughn, to replace him.
We are praying for Rhys Hoskins. And we're also praying for Lance McCullers Jr. Oh, my God. Lance McCullers Jr., this guy cannot catch a break. This guy is never not injured. Okay, so he misses all of 2023 and 2024 due to injury. He earns his first win the other night since September 21st, 2022, and takes like a 130-mile-per-hour line drive off the ankle from Shohei, right in the fucking ankle. It's one of the craziest plays because Shohei just hits a laser right at his ankle, hits his ankle, bounces in the air, and the shortstop catches it. It's electric, but McCullers, man. He came back this year and had a few good starts and then got hurt. I don't even know what he got hurt with, but he had some good starts, didn't get a win. Now he came back after going in the IL again, and Shohei says, everyone looks at Shohei as like a nice guy, but really tried to kill Lance McCullers Jr. And I think McCullers is going to be okay, but I did find it a little humorous, no offense. I don't root for injuries. But you got to find humor in some pain.
I mean, it's kind of like when Chris Sale came back in 2023 and then he broke his pinky in his second start and then he fell off a bike while rehabbing the pinky injury.
Fell off a bike. He didn't fall off a bike. He got in a street fight, dude. Cat's out of the bag. Chris Sale's a brawler. But the Astros just dicked the Dodgers down this weekend.
Well, they have Christian Walker. The guy dominates Dodger Stadium. He has apparently 9 homers in his last 8 games at Dodger Stadium. The Dodgers should be saying, hey, we'll trade you Freddie Freeman for Christian Walker because this dude only hits in Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, that's what the Dodgers need, another guy, overpaid guy in free agency. Not that Christian Walker is... No, Christian Walker is overpaid.
Yeah.
Because he's having a really bad year. But if he turns around, he...
Well, no, he just went to Dodger Stadium and everything's better.
There you go. Yeah, they fucked him. I mean, they beat him 18-1 in game 1. Holy shit, Dodgers. I mean, the Astros, what a squad. I mean, they just went to LA and just 3 games in a row. Sorry. I mean, this is a team everyone thought was like, all right, Astros had your run, just a decade plus of dominance. Like you go to the World Series of the ALCS, how many years in a row? 7 years in a row. Okay, get rid of Kyle Tucker. We don't need him. Get rid of Bregman. We don't need him. A lot of those players, pitchers who were in the World Series, injured, whatever. Altuve go to left field. Everyone clowns them. Nope, look at them now. 55 wins. They have the second best record in the AL, third best record in baseball, and just swept the Dodgers easily. 18-1. Not good. But, hey, Shohei's been struggling at the plate, but on the mound, he's looking pretty fucking nasty.
You got the numbers since he started pitching again?
I don't. You got him?
So I had him pull up, but he has like a 130 WRC plus since he started pitching again, which is still really good. But it's down from the 178 he had beforehand. But what I noticed is he's only stolen 1 base.
Yeah. Makes sense. Yep. He's not stealing, but he's pitching. And he hasn't been hitting right well the past week, I want to say. His numbers are really bad. Overhearing the broadcast earlier today. But pitching has been amazing. He struck out the side 2 innings and got 3 Ks. Was throwing 100. I saw him throw 101 yesterday. Like, I think his pitching might have got better after Tommy John. The way it's coming out of the hand, now he's throwing 2 innings at once. Holy crap. It's going to be exciting to see. Hey, guess what? Clayton Kershaw got 3,000 strikeouts, and he's an all-star. All-star legend. Rob Manfred came in and made Clayton Kershaw an all-star. Do you like that, Mitchell, or you think that's whack?
I can understand it, especially since he hit 3,000 strikeouts. It's kind of like a congratulations on hitting 3,000. So we got like the legend pick, which has only been used twice. Pujols and Cabrera had it in 2022. But people were pointing out, like, I mean, Justin Verlander and Max Scherzer, they don't have that much longer either. Why did Kershaw get that special nomination and not Verlander or Scherzer?
I guess it's got to be because of the 3,000 strikeouts. And, I mean, Kershaw's been better than both of them. They don't have 3,000 strikeouts. He's had a better career than both Verlander and Scherzer.
They definitely have 3,000 strikeouts.
Okay, never mind. I don't know.
Scherzer got his 3,000 strikeout with the Dodgers.
I do remember that now.
I think Verlander got his like 6 years ago.
Okay, well, did they do it with the same team? No. So that's the difference. I'm actually terrible at shit like that. Like how many strikeouts the guy had in his career, Hall of Fame stuff, all that kind of stuff, like your what are they called? Counting stats for your career, milestone type stuff. Terrible at that. War? That's my forte.
30-minute mark. Joey's out. Joey's out on war.
Speak to me when it comes to war. Okay, so the Diamondbacks and Royals. Diamondbacks, man, damn. So it's not looking good for the D-bags?
D-backs are kind of cooked.
Oh, no.
But, so Friday was kind of funny. The Royals are one of the worst offensive teams in baseball. Like, if you're playing fantasy baseball, you just need a spot starter. You see a pitcher, and they're facing the Royals, you just got to add them. But the Diamondbacks have one of the worst worst pitching in baseball. And so on Friday, they played each other, and the Royals scored 9 runs, and they won 9-3. D-backs came out. They have a really good offense, the Diamondbacks do. They won 7-1 on Saturday. And the Royals won the series. They shut out the Diamondbacks.
You mean they shut them out? They won 2 out of 3? They won all 3?
They won 2 out of 3. So the Diamondbacks won that middle game, but the Royals go to Arizona and they win the series.
All right, Royals. We're watching you. Diamondbacks shouldn't have fired their pitching coach. It's bad karma. And pitching has been their problem, right?
They're both sides. Like, if you watch Diamondbacks baseball and they're up like 6-1 in the 7th inning, there's a good shot at 6-6 in the 9th.
Yeah, it's been tough here for the and they get rid of their best fan too. That's not good for the pitchers either. Golly, what is going on in Arizona? Dude, I didn't know the All-Star game was coming back so fast.
That one thing that happens annually.
Who knew they were going to do an All-Star game
in July?
I feel like we just did an All-Star game. Now we're doing another All-Star game? All right. We got for All-Star. The Big Dumper has been named the starting catcher for the... I'll tell you this. The American League All-Stars, the starting 9, they don't come close to the NL. Cal Raleigh's the catcher. Amazing. Vlad Guerrero Jr., he's first base, starting at first base. Good job for Vladdy. Did he deserve it? Did he not?
I think Aranda deserved it.
Ooh, but he's...
But, I mean... The star part of it, I guess he is the star player.
Don't worry, Aranda, you're in as a reserve, so don't feel too jealous. Gleyber Torres, the second baseman. That came out of nowhere. I mean, who else would it? I mean, Jazz Chisholm? Come on, bro. Jazz had an amazing
he missed
year.
Like 2 months.
That's true. He's had an amazing year. And then Jacob Wilson, the shortstop for the American League All-Stars. You don't look at Jacob Wilson like that's a guy who is going to be the starting shortstop for the American League.
But then you look at that 360 batting average and you got no choice.
Yep, you look at his numbers. Well deserved for Jacob Wilson. Is he a rookie?
He's a rookie.
Wow. Hey, Athletics. Athletics got 2 All-Stars. Brent Rooker's also in it. Riley Green. Oh, then Ryan O'Hearn, the DH.
Well, it was going to be Devers.
It's like
It was 1,000% going to be Devers. He was leading the votes by a landslide, and then Boston was like, great time to trade him.
So but like going into the season, if you were like, okay, Cal Raleigh, Gleyber Torres, Jacob Wilson, Javy Baez, Ryan O'Hearn.
Javy Baez.
You wouldn't really think, oh, damn, that's really.
I would have been like, Javy Baez, how bad are the American League center fielders?
Yeah, for real. And look at Jacob deGrom starting the All-Star, not starting the All-Star game, but makes it as a starting pitcher. Love that. Fucking Kikuchi. Yusei Kikuchi. Awesome. Yusei Kikuchi's had a great year. Shane Smith for the White Sox. Bet you guys weren't even tapped into Shane Smith's amazing season. Or maybe just because they have to have one player.
I mean, they have to have one player.
Okay, so Shane Smith, take it with a grain of salt. You're not that good, motherfucker. It's only because your team sucks. According to Mitchell, I respect the hell out of you. Mitchell, not so much. But a lot of good guys, man. Julio Rodriguez is on the All-Star team. Why? I thought he was having a down year. Isn't he like a league average hitter?
Roughly.
Then how
Slightly
are you an
better.
All-Star?
I'm just like, are American League center fielders just bad?
I don't know, American League. What's going on? You got no chance against my favorite league, National League. What's your favorite league, Jack?
The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Can you name the leagues?
NL, ML, fucking
There's 2 leagues. Can you name them?
freaking.
It's actually written out on the package.
Don't tell. I'll give you
I'm
a
not
hint.
looking at the
I'll
package.
give you a hint, Jack. The first one is American League. That'd be the AL.
Perfect.
The other one,
NL.
which would be
Don't do this to me today. I'm too tired, bro.
Jack decided to do a red eye.
What does the NL stand for? What does the N in NL stand for?
North.
The Northern League. You got it. So here's your Northern League starters. Catcher, Will Smith. First base, Freddie Freeman. Second base, Ketel Marte. Third base, Manny Machado. Shortstop, Francisco Lindor. Outfield, Ronald Acuna Jr. Missed 2 months and still is a starter. Pico Armstrong, Kyle Tucker, and Shohei Ohtani. I got to say, the discrepancy between the starting lineups is fucking insane. Ryan O'Hearn or Shohei Ohtani? Who'd you rather have?
Ryan O'Hearn. Give me that Oriole.
I'm not going to go down the list of every single guy. Who would you rather have? Javy Baez or Ronald Acuna Jr.?
Javy
What
Baez.
about, okay. Yeah, so the list goes on and on.
I feel like the National League. Who's the least known player of the National League?
The starting
Of the
nine?
starting 9. Like, is it
Ooh.
Marte, who was probably an MVP candidate? Is it like all of these guys are name brand, like
Yeah,
household names,
I would say Kyle Tucker's kind of under the radar, but Ketel Marte, I guess.
and he's having like an MVP type
And
season.
he just went viral for crying, so everyone knows him now.
And then on the American League, if you went out and you surveyed like an average fan at a game and you asked them who Ryan O'Hearn was or Riley Green or Jacob Wilson,
Matt Olson!
The starters for the NL, I will say, like, as a person who barely knows what the fuck is going on, I have no idea who Pete Crow Armstrong is.
Really?
And
PCA?
everyone else I know.
We haven't talked. That means we haven't talked about PCA.
we
enough.
need to talk about our blue-haired
Yeah.
star more.
He's like the Gen Z superstar. PCA with the blue stars in his hair. Electric player for Pete Crow Armstrong. How old is he? 22?
I just
He's
think
like 24, isn't he?
But James Wood should have started over Pete Crow Armstrong or Kyle Tucker. Definitely Kyle Tucker. James Wood, they did you dirty. I would have put you in front of Kyle Tucker. Kyle Stowers. Shout out to Kyle Stowers for Jack's Miami Marlins. Has had an amazing season. No one talks about Stowers, even though he's on the hot Miami Marlins, who won like 8 of their last 9 before losing 2 out of 3 to the Brewers. Why isn't that a bigger story in baseball? Matthew Boyd, another guy. Matthew Boyd's like 37. Never really did much his entire career. I mean, he had a great. I mean, I don't know how old is Matthew Boyd.
34.
34. But we never looked at Matthew Boyd as some lights out, amazing starter. Kind of bounced around a lot of teams, but here he is at 34 in the All-Star game. I Got to respect that. Another one. My man, Matt Olson. Everyone was poo-pooing him.
Best first baseman in baseball.
Better than Freddie Freeman.
Better than Pete Alonso.
Like, hey, Freddie's actually starting, and he's behind him. But what are you going to do? Better than Pete Alonso. I guess, I guess they're both in. A lot of good players. Kyle Schwarber, he got freaking DFA'd or non-tendered. Non-tendered by the Cubs, and now he's, take that, Cubs. I just saw that today doing research. They non-tendered Kyle Schwarber instead of paying him like $9 million. See you later. Look what he's done now. Yep. So a lot of great guys in these two teams, man. I got to respect everybody on the team. Randy Rodriguez, never even heard of you in my life, and you're going to the All-Star game.
He's like one of the best relievers in baseball.
I believe it. I wasn't familiar with your game. But nobody is better. The one pick that stands out as the best pick of all time is Javy Baez. Because Javy Baez, this guy, I mean, you guys were saying it on Twitter. This guy's a piece of shit. He sucks. He swings at everything. He's the worst player in baseball. Worst contract ever. The fall off needs to be studied. And now he's a starter in the All-Star game, motherfucker. And we're going to go into Javy Baez's career right now. Javy Baez was the 9th overall pick. He signed for $2.6 million out of high school. Within 3 years, he was the 5th best prospect in baseball. This guy already had an MLB tattoo on his neck. He got it at 16 years old. Show Jack this tattoo. He's going to love that shit. He's probably never seen this. This guy got a tattoo, MLB logo on his neck at 16.
Yeah, done poorly, too.
Whoa. Really?
It's not great.
Well, it looks good on TV. And you got to respect the balls. To get a MLB tattoo on your neck at 16, he knew he was going to be a legend. He was. He was called the most exciting player in the Midwest League. And in his first 3 MLB games, he hit 3 MLB home runs. This is the Cubs back in 2014 when he came up. The Cubs sucked at that point. But they were loaded with young guys. They had Rizzo, Jorge Soler, Addison Russell, Chris Bryant, Kyle Schwarber, and Wilson Contreras were all about to come up. The farm system was stacked, and in 2015, finally, the Cubs were good again. We all remember 2015, the year they broke the curse. Psych, that was 2016. But in 2015, the Cubs, that was like their first year being good. This young team is good. Everyone's good, except Javy Baez was not, actually. Javy Baez struggled after a hot start in 2014, spent most of 2015 in the minors, dealt with a personal tragedy that caused him to miss extended time in 2015. But finally in September, they call Javy Baez up to the majors. Instant impact for the Cubs. They sneak into the playoffs. He hits a massive home run in the NLCS. Helps send the Cubs to the NLCS. Sorry, hit the massive homer in the DS. Then they go to the CS and lose. And that's the start of the magical Cubs team. Where were you in 2016, Jack, when the Cubs won the World Series? Do you remember that shit?
No.
God damn, this guy doesn't know anything.
Where was I in 2016?
World Series produced one of the biggest parades in human history.
You don't remember?
And you don't remember where you were?
2016, I would have been, I was 22 years old. I was probably selling drugs. I was probably fucking cashing checks. I was probably living a big boy lifestyle, bro. You guys probably were in fucking diapers at the time, okay?
You were getting pussy back then?
I didn't include that in the list at all, actually.
I just wanted that. I mean, you're doing baller shit. I thought there's one you left out. Selling drugs, making cash, getting pussy. That's what it's all about. 2016, Jack Schwartz.
I think I was actually an EMT already. So I was actually just, saving lives. No big deal.
Respect.
You can thank me, though, if you want.
Thank you for your service. But you remember when the Cubs broke the curse, 100-year curse?
No, I do remember. I remember every Cubs fan I knew, which was probably 4 people, were like, oh, it's fine, he's here.
It was a big deal. It was a magical Cubs team. That's when Javy Baez arrives. That was his rookie year. Or was it technically not his rookie year?
Technically not.
So technically it wasn't his rookie year, but it was his, sophomore season. Puts up a 2.6 WAR at 23 years old while making some of the best defensive plays ever. That's the one thing about Javy Baez. His defense back then was like, it outweighs everything. The amount of sick plays, if you go to Javy Baez defensive highlights during that Cubs era, you'll see some of the, just not even that it's sick, not even that they were good plays, but it was just the smooth, bro. Guy was smooth. He flashed the leather, quick hands. Beautiful fielder. Was the most valuable second baseman in baseball, according to defensive metrics. And him, Anthony Rizzo, Chris Bryant, Addison, Russell, Wilson Contreras all come on the scene at the same time. And come the playoffs 2016, Baez has multiple marquee moments in this legendary World Series run. Hits a game-winning home run in the NLDS. Has a game-winning RBI in Game 4. Steals home in the NLCS. When was the last time that happened, Mitchell?
When that happened, it was the first steal of home by a Cub in the playoffs in 100 years.
Over 100 fucking years, and Javy Baez does it. He's named MVP of the NLCS at 23 years old. And in one of the most notorious games in baseball history, Cubs take the lead on the Indians in Game 7 of the World Series on a Baez home run, which took the starter out of the game. I don't know if they took the lead on that, but it was a home run that took their starter out of the game. Who was starting in Game 7? Was that Bauer?
No, was it?
Jack, who was it?
Oh, this was a great matchup. Come on, Jack, you know this name.
Starter for the Indians, Game 7, World Series 2016. It's on the tip of my tongue.
I want to say it was Corey
Kluber. Corey Kluber.
You did watch these games.
I knew Jack knew what
Corey
was going on.
Klubler.
So he takes Corey Kluber deep. You're fucking me up right now. I don't know how to say Corey Kluber. Corey Kluber got taken deep by Javy Baez. Ends the win.
Fuck.
Cubs end up winning, breaking the 100-year World Series drought. One of the most watched World Series of all time. One of the most notorious teams of the decade. Definitely the most notorious team of the decade. And Javy Baez is a part of it. Next year, he's a part of another historic team, the 2017 WBC. This is like 6 months later. He plays for Team Puerto Rico. They go undefeated in pool play, beat the United States, beat Venezuela, beat the Dominican Republic. The team was such a big deal in Puerto Rico that there was a hair dye shortage because all the players were bleaching their hair. So the whole island started bleaching their hair. They didn't have enough hair dye left on the island for them. Fucked up, right? The police reported that violent crime in Puerto Rico went down significantly during these games. 70% of the country's TVs were on to watch them play in the finals. Baez himself makes the most iconic play of his career, tagging a runner out while pointing to Yadi Molina to congratulate him on a great throw. This play has been replayed millions of times in every MLB fucking highlight package ever. Makes another insane play to get Jonathan Scoop. Another iconic slide to deke a Buster Posey throw and helps the team to get to the final where they lose in a legendary game against the United States. Proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and we're the 2017 World Baseball Classic champions. Suck our dicks, Puerto Rico, but all due respect to the island that is Puerto Rico and the people of Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
Which is technically part of the United States.
Oh, yeah, I was just thinking, technically they won. Because the U.S. won.
We both won.
We both won.
We both won. That's what we should just take over every country in the world. You know what I mean? That'd be awesome.
Not a great time for this bit.
No?
You gotta stop dropping the bomb so often.
Jack, you are going to hate listening back to the part you missed.
Anyway.
I think I'm gonna do that.
Yeah,
crazy.
Anyway, Baez, after this tournament, he's a household name amongst baseball fans. Fans slept outside in Chicago to get his autograph that offseason. And Chicago, of all places. You know how violent it is out there? And cold in the winter? They were sleeping out, standing in line to get an autograph from Javy Baez. 10th highest selling jersey in MLB in 2017. In 2018, he has the best individual season of his career. This guy hits 19 home runs at the All-Star break. Holy shit. Makes an All-Star team, was a Silver Slugger, finishes with 34 home runs, and finished second in MVP voting. That is Javy Baez in 2018 at 25 years old. So now undisputed, one of the faces of the league. He has the third highest selling jersey in MLB. In 2019, he has the fourth highest selling jersey in MLB. And in 2020, he gets on the cover of MLB The Show. Javy Baez, the world is yours, man. You've arrived. You're a baseball superstar. Unfortunately, that's when things start to take a negative turn. All right, the Cubs struggled, never live up to the expectations set up in 2016. The team is beginning to rebuild. Baez has the worst offensive season of his career in 2020, and in 2021, another down season has the Cubs selling, man. They non-tender Kyle Schwarber. They trade Anthony Rizzo, trade Chris Bryant. They let Wilson Contreras go in free agency, and during that stretch, they also trade Javy Baez. Right before free agency, Baez was having an average year at the plate, and they sent him to the New York Mets, a team that falters, does nothing. Baez is caught in a small controversy with a thumbs down celebration, making light of Mets fans who were booing the team because they were underperforming like crazy. Baez himself, however, did amazing in his time with the Mets while he was there. I think a 140 OPS plus while in New York. So, I mean, that was good enough to get some hype into free agency. Going into free agency in 2022, he was ranked the 8th best free agent in baseball. That's ahead of Freddie Freeman, which blows your mind that Freddie Freeman was ranked behind Javy Baez in free agency that year, but that's how people looked at him. Signs a massive 6-year, $140 million contract with the Tigers, the 4th biggest contract the team ever gave out. And that's a young, rebuilding team, like some young pieces. And they basically paid Javy Baez to like be the cornerstone veteran player, the rock in that lineup. And immediately it's a disaster. He has the worst offensive season of his career. The Tigers underachieve. They finished with a 3rd worst record in MLB. At one point, his offense was so poor, the team benched him just to give him a break. Just to give him a break, dude. You're so bad. We got to bench you. Not to punish you, but like you need to clear your head out. Then after striking out in a game of June, he gets booed by his own fans. Mitchell, you're a Tigers fan now. Would you boo him? Did you boo him?
No, I didn't.
But would you?
No.
No? Why not?
Maybe I would, actually. I don't know.
Well, he finished the season with the 4th worst chase rate in baseball. Is that grounds?
Rough. That's rough to watch.
Is that grounds to boo?
See, I wouldn't boo Michael Harris, though.
It's true.
And that's the same issue.
It's true. You know, you miss 100% of the pitches you don't swing at. I'm the first person to ever say that. Am I not?
You might be.
Come on. Next year, it gets even worse, though, okay? So he gets benched in the first week of the season. This is 2023. After starting off hitting 100 in the first 9 games. 9 games later, he gets pulled in the middle of a game because he doesn't hustle out of the box, nearly gets thrown out at second. Then, on the very next play, after not hustling, he forgets how many outs there were, gets doubled up, and gets benched for the 2nd time in a month. And this was close to the rock bottom for Javy Baez. After the game saying, quote, "My mind is elsewhere right now," acknowledging that like shit has gone south quickly for Javy Baez. He finishes that year as the 21st worst qualified hitter in baseball. I think in his first 2 years with the Tigers, or in 2023 and 2024, I think he ended, if you combine them, as the 2nd worst qualified hitter in baseball, because his plate discipline was like comically bad. All right. It becomes a meme. Here's a video of him striking out to 50 Cent. We've all seen that one. Him striking out to Sister Jean. That's a legendary one. Baez swung at 46% of the pitches thrown to him out of the zone that year. 46% of pitches thrown to him that were not strikes, he swung at. That was the 2nd worst in baseball. And going into his 3rd year of the contract, the Tigers again look like one of the worst teams in the league. Baez goes down with a back injury. Now, for the first time in his career, he grades out as a below-average fielder, which is tough, bro, because he's not been a good hitter, but he's always been a great fielder. Now, last year in 2024, not only was he swinging everything, missing, terrible at hitting, had that back injury, now he can't even field. So The Athletic calls his $140 million contract, quote, possibly the worst deal of any player in North American sports. They dropped that bomb. In a world with Anthony Rendon, Steven Strasburg, name another one, Chris Bryant, a world of these contracts, quote, The Athletic, possibly the worst one of any of those players in North American sports. So there you go. He now has a reputation as one of the least productive, highest paid players in the league. He swung and missed at 13 times in one game. 13 swing and misses in one game. He swung and missed at 134 sliders in a single season. And there's a ton of bad ones. So in 2024, the Tigers go on a miracle run. They make the playoffs, but during that same stretch, Javy Baez is injured. They're better without Javy Baez. He's out with hip and spine soreness, finishing the season as the 14th least valuable player in baseball and a 184 batting average. Okay, so the Tigers last year, magical. Pitching chaos, Mitchell. That's your Tigers, your favorite team right now, right?
No.
You love it. Born and raised.
Love
Detroit.
Born and raised Michigan.
Just a city
from there.
boy. Born and raised in South Detroit. Mitchell is all right, I'll chill. Don't look at me. Mitchell's pissed right now. But the Tigers make the playoffs. They upset the Astros with a brand new rookie shortstop, Trey Sweeney. So going into 2025, it looks like Javy Baez isn't even going to be on the team anymore. They send him to spring training, and they say he's got to earn his job. The Tigers replace him at shortstop and put him in a center field. Say, good luck, buddy. Turns out Javy Baez is fucking amazing at center field. So far this year, this guy's already robbed an insane ball, runs 200 feet, robs his ball. By May, he already had 2.6 defensive WAR. That was good enough to be the 5th best outfielder in baseball. However, he's not really an outfielder, Mitchell. He's playing second. He's playing shortstop. He's playing third base. This guy's playing 4 fucking positions right now for the Tigers. All right. And is having the best offensive season since 2021. Earlier this year, he had 3 home runs in 3 games. After almost being let go, he's been the 4th best position player for a Tigers team who is dominating right now. I think they have the 2nd best record in baseball, and Javy Baez is a big reason for that. After almost being out of the league at 34 years old, he's never played a single season at center field. Now he's going to start in center field for the All-Stars, for the fucking All-Stars. No shit. He's going to start in center field for the American League. He's done it, Mitch. What's the most important? What's the most impressive thing about Javy Baez's return?
Playing a new position and then hitting well. Like he had to earn a spot as a super utility player, and he went, actually I can hit again. Like I'm not just a super utility player. But AJ Hinch loves moving guys around the field, and Javy Baez is like, I can play everything you want and I can hit. 4
different positions. Right now he's got a 112 OPS. That'd be his best OPS since 2021, bro. He is back. He is back. But the most important part is also is really his defense. That's where his value comes from. 2 WAR right now for Javy Baez. So he's on pace to have a 4 WAR season, which would be, again, best since 2021, where he was ranked the 8th best free agent in baseball. And guess what? He's about to be a free agent again. I wonder what he gets on the free market. Going to be interesting to see. Sorry, he's not a free agent until 2028. I guess I'll just kill myself then, huh? Because I don't know anything. Is that what you wanted to say? Is that what you're about to say?
Why is Mitch looking at me?
I can't tell who Joey's looking at.
Whatever. Let's get.
When we're aligned like this, it's really hard to tell who Joey's.
Let's just get to fan questions, all right? Here's a question for Jack and Joey. Do you think Barry Bonds is the John Jones of MLB and vice versa for MMA? What do you think, Jack?
No, not really. Honestly, I mean, like, there's so many troubled baseball players with like a rink-a-dink past.
Rink-a-dink.
But I think he's more of like who's a fighter who really like kind of went a little like crazy? Because John Jones is more like he's like a lunatic, but is he wacky?
But Barry Bonds ain't wacky. He just did steroids and was the GOAT.
Damn it, I'm thinking of Sammy.
Barry Bonds is also like the son of Bobby Bonds, who was a really good player.
And John Jones, is he the son of someone that we don't know about, Mitchell?
No, he's not.
So I don't know. I was
Well-
giving Jack some context.
Okay, got you. I got you.
Jack was saying stuff about like players who come up from like rough spots and like come up from the poverty.
How
and-
closely do you follow MMA, Mitchell?
Not at all.
Okay, so that's gonna be a tough question for you.
This is not a question for me. I think Michael G5945 knows that.
Well, they both allegedly did steroids, and they're both the GOAT, arguably. So in that case, they are pretty similar. I think, and they're both retired now.
Does John Jones bike religiously?
Actually, John Jones does bike a lot. Yeah.
Oh shit, Michael G, you're onto something right now.
But they all bike. You know what I mean? That's an athlete thing to do, I guess.
Not baseball players.
Who do you think's the Conor McGregor of baseball?
Ooh,
I'm thinking Tommy Pham. He's just getting into fucking fist fights everywhere.
Tommy Pham. I don't know. It's like you can't be that much of a fucking just problem and be in any sport like baseball or any organized team sport. Like Conor McGregor can't exist in anything other than MMA or boxing. But like, who's like the biggest drug addict party fucking lunatic in MLB of all time? He's like John Rocker. But John Rocker never was really that good. Who's like the most?
But that's the thing, though. McGregor
Doc
was like
Gooden?
arguably never the GOAT. He was just
Yeah,
the biggest, like,
but McGregor went on an
seller.
insane run when he won 2 belts at once, and when he was the first guy to ever do that. Like at his peak, McGregor was pound for pound #1 fighter in the UFC.
yeah, I guess you could say that because he held 2 titles at the same time. Or actually, I think he didn't hold them at the same time, but he won it back to back.
Dude, what you don't? I'm the MMA guy. Where's my belt, Dana? Remember?
Yeah, but didn't
Give me
he,
my second belt.
But didn't he,
Where's my fucking belt?
when he changed weight classes, did he go back?
He never went back to 145. No, but for that brief moment, he had 2 belts. You know, the UFC wasn't going to take his 145 belt away right before he beats Eddie Alvarez. Like that was like a big deal. The double champ is back, baby. The double champ.
Oh, people do that shit all the time.
Yeah, I'm not really I'm out of the weeds when it comes to MMA, but I will say, Nick Diaz, Nate Diaz, those are my goats. That's why me and Dallas always got along because
My GOAT is Habib.
Habib Nurmagomedov.
Habib Nurmagomedov. Can you imagine if Joey did MMA podcast, bro? He would never say a name right. It would never happen.
Bro, Nurmagomedov.
Nurmagomedov?
It's like the hardest name. Yeah, those Chechens, man, they got some crazy names. Respect to the Chechens.
They're Russian. Dagestani Russians.
Oh, okay. So Chechnya and Dagestan are close, but not the same.
Chechnya, Khamzat Shamayev is Chechen.
So Chechnya is very close to Dagestan,
I don't know.
or is Dagestan an area inside Chechnya?
Dagestan is like a area. It's like a small area within Russia.
They're both in Russia, man. So like when you fact check me and you know less than me, don't fact check me.
Is that true?
Yes. Chechnya is. I think sure Dagestan is in Chechnya and they're both in Russia.
I don't think that's true. Is
Look
that
it
right?
up. Look it up.
I can't say confidently, but now I'm curious.
My problem is I can't spell Chechnya, or I'd know it in 2 seconds.
Are you talking about the former Czech Republic?
No, Chechnya is a republic of Russia, situated in North Caucasus of Eastern Europe between the Caspian Sea and Black Sea, with the Russian republics of Dagestan, and North. So I was right and you were wrong. Thank you.
I'm actually.
I am right again. Boom.
Do not know my geography.
Dagestan is in Chechnya and they are in Russia. So I know the most of anybody in the podcast doesn't exist history, and I will accept my raise. Thank you. All right. So any final thoughts? This was a long ass podcast, wasn't it? How long was it?
148.
Okay.
The new model's got a little length to it.
Okay. Oh, we have another question. When's the Patreon coming? I'm not sure. I don't think we'll ever have a Patreon. We might have a Patreon one day. But Mitchell's looking at me like, yeah, we need to have a Patreon. Mitchell wants to put content behind a paywall, dude. Me, I want to keep it free for everybody. Everybody eats. Let me know in the comments, guys. Do you want a Patreon or do you want everybody eats? Free content.
Everybody but us.
You're over here going, do you want freedom or communism?
Exactly. You want Mitchell in charge? He's like, let's make them pay for this. Also, Patreon is not communist. That shit's capitalist as fuck, dude. I ain't making people pay for anything. I actually am the socialist of the podcast. Everything's free.
I want to say to the jackheads, because there's a lot of jackheads out there, dude. People who are just fucking absolutely bewildered by.
They're called the jack-offs. You didn't know that?
I didn't contribute a lot to this episode because I'm a sleepy boy. I even left to go get a coffee at one point, and I just want to apologize, and I'll be better next week.
The jackheads have been disappointed once again. First, he misses 2 episodes in a row for contract negotiation. He gets his massive contract, and this is what he follows it up with: a lackluster episode. The jack-offs. They might switch to be the Mitchell, the Mighty Mitchells, the Mitch Brigade, the Mitch
bitches.
The Mitch. Don't even say that.
Forget when Ungzuna called Mitch a bitch.
Yeah. You know what they call him, right? That's what he said. He said that.
You know what Mitch rhymes with.
You know what Mitch? Right? Yeah, Mitch was too shook to go to Atlanta, Georgia. But we're sending Mitchell. Breaking news: we're sending Mitchell to the All-Star game as a
sad Mr. Met.
Just showing off my art. It's kind of like a Mr. Met, Cal Raleigh kind of like combo because he's got a fat ass.
Well, we'll give this away. This drawing we will give away to one lucky fan, autographed by
really
Jack Schwartz.
Pay for the ship or shit?
If anyone can, last person to answer this question correctly, 39 minus 10 divided by 2. Last person to answer that before next episode, Jack, we will send that picture to autographed by Jack Schwartz.
It's an unlimited clock. Oh, before next episode.
Well, you gotta.
I'll tell you what. You will only receive this picture if you are close enough to catch it as a paper airplane. Them's the rules.
If you live in the DMV, congratulations.
Well, if you really want that picture, seriously, drop a comment on why you deserve that picture that Jack drew, and if you can prove that you're the number one jack off, I'm sure Jack will make it work.
If you promise to get it tattooed on your body, I'll send it, and I'll even sign it. I'll fucking sign it right now. Fucking.
Okay. So that's about it. We're going to end this podcast with a rendition of the national anthem called Shlatlak Song. It is the Chechnyan song.
One!
This is good for the longevity of the pod.
Extra watch time.
That's fire, dude. It makes me proud to be Chechen, bro.
All right, bye, everybody.
Towel, mate.